look at how do you take care of your children, how do you take care of yourself, because really if you cannot respect your body, you will not really be able to prevent or control the coming of the virus to you. So it is you who goes physically to actually look for it. It's not that maybe somebody was coughing, it came to me by accident. No, it is through contact. So that is very, very important. We should be able to look at that very seriously. And also those who are watching us from Lango and the tourism regions, we say thank you very, very much. And we hope that all is okay. The other side, I am meant to understand that the rain was all over. So we should be able to really look at what are things we should be able to do, especially those in the northern region where poverty is really on high alert, and also the issues of famine have been there, and also many others. And also in Karamoja South region, which is still in northern Uganda, we say thank you very, very much. And also I hope the Mabatis that we have flagged off have reached you, and you should be able to really have better houses now really put in that place, because really many of you do not have better houses. So this is the right time, right opportunity for you to actually make sure that your life is improved, at least your environment is seen to be good, and also the houses you sleep in should be a better one. Okay, that is a very good opportunity that government has given you. You should be able to take it seriously. But in the eastern, I see people from Shoroti, farmers were actually enjoying the opportunity availed by the Shoroti factory that is making juice there, and orange farmers were excited and so on. And I hope this should be able to really make your livelihood improve, because there were a lot of middlemen who were actually cheating on the farmers. So this time I hope it should be a blessing now. The company actually promised to actually give farmers more juice to drink on top of the purchases on cars and so on. This is a very great deal. So I hope that the factory will be able to really do the needful throughout, because it has been really down, it has not been really functioning. Now that the activities there have been revamped, this should be really able to address the issues of poverty, but also the issues of rot of some of these raw materials that we produce, especially the oranges, the mangoes and so on, that we should be able to really tap juices from them. But also those who are watching us from the Albertine Reef, talk about those from Hoima district. I don't forget my friends, that is Robert, and many others that I may talk about. Aikor, who is the editor of Spice FM, I don't forget you, and I hope you are there watching us right away. And I appreciate your comments that you came to my inbox and also was able to actually appreciate what we do. We appreciate you so much, and also make sure that really the citizens are able to really tap the opportunities that are availed by the oil pipeline that is being constructed. So it should be really not people who are brought from abroad to really benefit from these activities. I'm not alone in the house. I'm with Peace Ochak. Will be really going up to some time there. Maybe Peace.
Yes, good morning, Federick.
You're most welcome.
Good morning and thank you. Happy New Week.
Okay.
Should I say Happy New Month? Because
yeah,
it's the first week of the month.
Because really, we just came on Friday and it was the first day, and then we were actually winding up the week. We didn't actually celebrate the coming of a new month. Yes, for sure.
It is okay. You know, it was a new month. We started in style for the weekend with a lot of enjoyments, a lot of things happening here and there. You have highlighted a lot of them, both positives and negatives, from health up to political sections. So those are some of the things we are yet going to discuss, maybe within the short coming period. Otherwise, good morning to all the people who are live on West Nile Television. Happy New Week once again.
By the way, that's a very good introductory part from Peace Ochak. He's also known to be a Jalusiga with his big name, and also I hope all will be going well. And how was your weekend, maybe?
My weekend was good. It was mixed. You know, I also went for prayers. That was a religion perspective. We also went for entertainment because, you know, over the weekends there are a lot of actions in football here and there.
Yeah.
Also,
I heard that your Onduparaka defeated some team there.
By the way, it is not my Onduparaka. It is West Nile Onduparaka.
Yes,
that is our home team. We need to support them. We need to give them the support, whether being physically or even by listening and getting the information from the guys who are on media, like Federick. At least they managed to win.
Yeah,
and that is in the big league match. It was against Ndege University. So it was a good one. People celebrated, and all these things happening. And there are also other matches. So these are some of the things we always keep telling you as West Nile TV. We give you wide coverage of everything. So my weekend in general was good because things went as expected. Nothing much went negatively, but most of the things were positively. That's why, if you can look at me, even I've started the new week with some good smile.
Okay, you will smile better later on. Let's take a break from here. We'll be coming certainly with the highlight of the issues, and also move to some of the big stories of this week. Okay, right away. Let's take a break.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
Family the bigger feast this Christmas with StarTimes upgrade to Kongere promotion. Novel customers on antenna decoder simply pay 16,000 shillings copper bouquet monthly subscription to enjoy basic bouquet for free. Enjoy variety of entertainment including Hello Mr. Right on Makula Chika, Kazanya Kukazanyo on Makula, animations and cartoons on Boing, series on TLC and Star Life. Even better, we have added all your favorite local channels. So make this the unforgettable holiday. More content, happier family.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
Alright, welcome back from that commercial break. Earlier on, I highlighted on some of the issues, but we'll be discussing pertinent issues that are actually affecting the region, but also the globe generally. And if you look at one of the biggest stories that is actually rocking the globe, before we go to that, locally here we have a lot that is happening. 23 groups, leaders have been arrested in Terego district and eventually released on bond upon refunding monies. This is worth 1.8 billion Ugandan shillings that was meant for institutional greening. This is a component of the Dr. D project, and that is another local story there. You should be able to really read for yourself and also be able to follow up later on. But also many other issues. There's an outbreak of another zoonotic disease, a very strange one. Challenges to do with lack of trained or really substantive veterinary officers at sub-counties is actually one of the biggest errors that is being considered by local governments in terms of managing zoonotic diseases among animals and humans. That's another big story there, but also many others that will be able to follow. Remember that the president of this country tweeted yesterday that the issues of insecurity is being fueled by the M23 rebels, and these are allies that come to actually threaten locals in Uganda, and that's one big issue that is actually happening there. We'll be discussing that in the subsequent hours, but most importantly we'll go to this one, which is the report released by World Health Organization that has actually put most of the African countries on the lead in terms of malaria burden. So what is it that you should be able to know in this? Remember, during the 2021-2022 there were a lot of surveys done. Remember, in 2021 the report actually indicated that African countries were actually on the lead, but up to date it is still the African countries, though there are some countries in the east that are also grappling with malaria burden. If you look at the statistics, the malaria burden in global, if we rank it, Nigeria is actually leading across the world with 31 cases registered globally, and also Uganda comes number 5th, that is with 5% of the cases, and also Democratic Republic of Congo is actually number 3rd, and that is one big issue there we should be able to follow. And Mozambique comes number 2, and also many other countries follow late just like that. And also this brings down the issues to do with the response by most of the governments. How is it that we should be able to really cap down or curtail the cases of malaria? Remember, Uganda and many other African countries, just 4 of them contribute to almost half of the global situation statistics. This is actually arising from the 2.1 billion cases of malaria deaths, actually malaria cases that are registered global. That was in 2022, and if you look at that statistics right now, out of that only 11.1 million cases of the 2.1 billion were rescued. So that means the majority of the people died. That means there's nothing that many of these countries are able to do in order to rescue those cases. Majority, that means that constitutes to 95 point something percent the cases that have actually gotten maybe that have passed away, or people who have died from malaria, and that is generally the situation, and that's how it looks like. This report was actually released on the 1st of December, that was on last Friday, at the headquarters, and also this is one big issue that the executive director, that is Tedros Ghebreyesus, communicated that actually really countries need to tackle the issues of climate change versus health. This is one big issue there. He has said actually the climatic conditions, talk about too much flooding, a lot of drought, and also the issues of forest depletion is actually contributing widely to these cases that are seen. But many countries have injected a lot of monies that have not been utilized very, very well. That is the concern there. Now, what is the situation in your country? What is it in your locality? What is it in your homes? How is the situation? How many times do your children get sick? How about the pregnant mothers? How about you as the father? How many times do you get sick in terms of the malaria issues that are concerned in your community? How about the activities that you are doing in order to prevent the situation? That's where we really want to go to, and that is our pertinent one key issue that we want to discuss before we go to other issues. That's where we want to really go. Maybe I am not alone in the studios. I'm with Peace Ochak. Peace, what do you make of this report that was disseminated, actually published on the 1st of December? We are just 4 days away from that, or 3 days away from that report that was published. Yes.
Thank you, Federick. Health is wealth. When you're talking about malaria, that is one of the killer diseases right now in the country, that is Uganda, and worldwide as stated clearly, but it all comes back to the people at the grassroots. We are talking about government putting more effort in the fight against that is malaria. What are some of the initiatives the government have come up with? We have the treated insecticides mosquito nets. We have the indoor spraying, that's the central indoor spraying. All these are meant to fight against that is malaria. But you have posed a very big and good question, like how many people are sleeping under treated mosquito net? How many people are using these things the government have brought?
Okay, we'll really get more from Peace, and if you look at that report, it actually highlights that most of the countries, especially in the sub-Saharan Africa, have not really achieved much in terms of continuously engaging with the communities. Most of the activities, though, are supposed to be community-led, especially looking at the interventions by donors, by the interventions by the governments themselves. Pertinently, communities have not been able to impress some of these kind of interventions that have been tailored. For instance, we'll look at Uganda as our case study where we live. You realize that Uganda has been able to distribute mosquito nets, and currently the mosquito net campaign is going on, and also the into residual spray, which was rolled out around September, was also another big issue there that was really going on. And if you look at those interventions that were tailored towards mosquito or malaria prevention, most of them have been able to reach communities. But how about management of this at community levels? This is one big issue there that most of the local governments have been able to really find it hard. You see people using the mosquito nets for making ropes for tying animals, use it for really guarding their nursery beds, and also others use it for grafting purposes, and also maybe tying most of the okay, we will talk about staking, most of those kind of activities that are used for maybe growing crops and also rearing animals. So that is one big issue there we are seeing, that many people really do not really take positive use of these interventions or activities or materials that are brought to really eradicate the cases of malaria spread that you have seen in the communities. But also looking at the aspect of people loving to associate with wetlands. People want to construct along the valleys. People want to construct along the streams, and this is one big issue there that is actually causing a lot of disease outbreaks, especially as the stagnant waters, the accumulated waters, they are the breeding grounds for mosquitoes. But also if you look at other interventions like the IRS, it seemed like there was no enough sensitization or community engagements on the impact of this kind of chemicals that will be sprayed in people's rooms. So you realize that majority of the people actually shunned the exercise. They did not actually allow their houses to be sprayed. So what do you think can be done in this kind of issues? You realize that many people are left out, or many people do not really impress some of these activities. They continue to increase the malaria burden in the country, and that's why really we should be able to really address the technical issues to do with community engagements. Community-led activities should be the priority for all the governments, especially in Africa, if we want to really move very, very far. But also changing the attitude of the community is not one day thing or 2 days thing, and not really through workshops, but go into the communities, gather them, dialogue with them. What is the issue? Is it that they need to start growing size so that they are able to make ropes? Is it that they don't have no much raw materials to really do staking and so on? You should be able to address some of those primary causes of why people go and misuse those mosquito nets. But also many other interventions. When we are bringing interventions to the community, we should be able to really make sure that the community is aware of the impacts, also how it will be able to help them. If you convince people, they'll be able to actually accept some of these these services. Maybe peace. Let me involve you back on this. And what do you make of that report, but also regionalizing it to Africa or Uganda or your community, where you come from? What is the situation like? Let's start it from there.
Thank you once again, Federick. You have highlighted a lot of them. Almost you have highlighted everything, but the most thing is, we as a community, how are we starting up the fight against malaria? You have stated it, during rainy seasons, how some people always don't know how to take good care of their environment when talking about compounds. And before government come in it, as you being a parent, as you being a community, what are you doing to make sure you are the lead in the fight against malaria? We know the government is coming up with those initiatives of the mosquito net, the residential spraying, and so others. But general, if the government are bringing some of these things, mosquitoes, they don't live inside the house. They are free moving, that is precious, because you cannot tell me you're going to fight against malaria by only sleeping under treated insecticide mosquito nets. We are missing by around 7 or 6, 7. The children are yet also staying out. People are living in darkness. We know one big thing with mosquitoes. If you want to fight against them, you have to have lights in your home. And what are you going to do to make sure you have these things? You make sure your children or people, the young ones who are within you, by around 7, they're inside, they're in the house, so that we avoid these things of being bitten by the mosquitoes and the rest. So the government have brought in others, as I've said. People doesn't know how to use these mosquito nets very well. One good example, we have been seeing people moving on the roads or by the roadside selling these nets for bathing. They're acting as sponge. What are the people? What is the response of the leaders? I highly believe there are also some leaders who are buying these things, who are buying the mosquito nets for bathing. They're using them for their own use. So if they're also supporting some of these initiatives, automatically the fight against this malaria will become so hard. And you have mentioned also the death rate is going high and high and high every day. Yet in this country, Uganda, we have a target of ending some of these things by 2030. We are already in 2023. We are closing up the year, meaning we shall be left around 5 to 6 years. What are we going to do? How are we going to fight against some of these things? So, all in all, let the community first be on the lead, then the government will also come in. Because we are seeing the country is losing a lot, is spending, is trying to come up with so much initiatives. And if you go to the health centers, at times the drugs are there, others they are not there. That's where the government came in, because they are not providing, that is, enough medication for people to access the medication for malaria. So if the government is to play its part in providing all the medications for malaria, automatically people will also get used to buying it or getting them. And one thing, people have lost interest. That's why the fight is becoming hard. At times you go to these health centers, you find the drugs for malaria, they are not there. What do? You go back, you shift to other means. So let us try to work together to fight against malaria in the country, Uganda. It is not a good one, being number 4 globally, and that is a bad sign for Uganda.
Truly, it's a bad sign. And if you are still watching us, this is the West Nile TV show that comes every Monday to Friday, which is called the Kokoliriko Live, and we are discussing pertinent issues to do with the health, security, and also the economy generally, and also understanding what the people should be able to really do in order to really avert some of these situations, but also what exists, what opportunities do exist in this kind of activities. Okay, we are aware that the donor support is dwindling, and that's why really the countries are trying to prioritize the use of the available resources in order to really move very far with responding to some of these calamities. But if you look if you look at the situation world over, it is Pakistan that is actually leading with over 2.1 billion million cases that are registered. And also, if you look at many other countries, you'll talk about Guinea, which is actually number 5th. Uganda is number 4th, and talk about Tanzania, which is number 6, and also Ethiopia follows actually Pakistan, number 2, and also DRC, number 3. And those are the situations that are world over. If you want to read that report, it's published by World Health Organization. And you're still watching the Kokoliriko show that comes every Monday to Friday. We're discussing this with Peace Chuck. We'll be going up to the hour of 9 a.m. So that will be really bringing the news in Lubarati with Muklia Lawrence, who will be in the rings trying to really talk about what is actually happening in the world of news, and also many others. Maybe, Peace, let's move to a brief one. We have seen a lot of interventions by many donors. Talk about the presidential initiative, what, and many others. Yes, we show UK aid mosquito nets. We show a lot of things coming into this country. But now we have seen this support dwindling. How do you think the approach should be? Since we don't have much donor support now, how should the approach be? Or we leave ourselves to God? Is it that situation?
No.
Yes.
If you have to leave ourselves to God, very many people will die. Yeah. They said you first help yourself, then you also, God will come after. They said True. You act, that is faith, you act. You don't just beg for something. So we are seeing a lot of donor support coming through. We are seeing a lot of them investing big monies. But trust me, Federick, some have lost interest. Because now, if you are giving the mosquito nets and people are using them or misusing them in the other ways, it indicates that there's laxity in the country. You're not all that serious about that is the donor support being given. But also, if you look at how the monies are being spent, at times it is understanding. You don't feel like the money is being used into the right direction. So let's first handle these things. Let's first harmonize and look for ways of that is gaining more support from the donors. Uganda, we have a lot of them. You have mentioned, we have the UK aid, we have the US aid. All these people are coming together to make sure that the country Uganda is safe, but also people at the grassroots. We have been seeing the mosquito nets being distributed. Federick, if you move right now, you find a family is having 5 mosquito nets and they are not using it well. While other places, they don't have the nets totally. We saw just of recent, that is last week, people from the Bunyoro sub-region, some rejected the nets because they are not sufficient enough. Yet the donors are claiming for them they are giving the right amount of money to cater for all the people. So the government will also try to balance things up. All these things comes up to the follow-ups. How are they following? Are they really going down to the community to understand who are the people on the lead? If they can involve the local councils, the local leaders to go and monitor, because for them they have the rights, they have the access, that is to people, because they are part of the community. They have to go through to the ground and see how many people are making good use of the net. If possible, why can't they make arrest of someone who is not using it very well and other people are selling them when it is clearly indicated not for sale? This is property maybe of the government of Uganda with support of this and this and this, but people are selling them openly and no action is being taken. So those are the things which are making the fight is very hard, and I believe if they are to cooperate, if they are to go deep down and do the follow-ups on who are the beneficiaries of these mosquito nets, and people, are they really accepting? Because now we are talking about the spraying. Some people are refusing. So these are some of the things. Let them go down and follow up properly, and the fight against malaria will be a positive one.
All right, a very prominent leader of a district in West Nile actually said one day that the involvement of leaders is what they mean to be having money. They are given money and then they go and monitor those projects. That's how they actually perceive involvement should be. And that is actually one big attitude we need to kill among the communities, the society, because really if we want to be first paid for whatever we should be able to do to rescue lives, then that is the unfortunate bit of it. But also looking at the attitude of the people generally, even including the leaders. You see people drink up to midnight and also beyond, where they are not in mosquito nets, and also really you see the spread of this disease continues, and that's why really we have these alarming cases. If we are to regulate some of these cases, but also look at maybe if we are able to do business during the day, is it not really right, or maybe better off? But also we have mosquito repellent trees that could be planted. But also talk about some cosmetics that are of mosquito repellent. If all of us, maybe if you want to stay throughout the night, you smear yourself with these things.
But some people, they always, as you have said, they're in drinking joints, they're in discos, but some of those places they're in open. So it becomes so hard because when you are in a place that is so much exposed to oxygen, the reactions between the chemicals you're applying and the oxygen, the end result, they will be dominated. So if you have abundance of oxygen somewhere, those things will not work.
How about the trees? Maybe the mosquito
repellents, that thing can work because for them they're always free. Their effects can easily be felt because the moment the wind is blowing, the smell will also come. You feel safe. But
also ensuring that lighting system is up to date.
But how many?
It's very important.
But how many people are aware of the repellent plants? If you move to the community, do they know what the repellent plant we're talking about is? Some of us, of the current generations, we have never seen what the repellent plant is. Mostly it was used those days back when there was still higher cases of malaria and there were still things of
traditional methods.
So
yes,
that's where we saw that the repellents mostly being used because those days the mosquito nets were very few. But also you came up with the good initiatives. If the government can also take this thing of spraying to public places, it will help. They had a proposal of maybe starting to go and spray where the disco halls, the place of entertainment. That will be so good. But also, where you are living, are you ready to fight against it? Can you adapt to what the government is telling you? Some people don't believe in what people are telling. And also, maybe last thing about malaria, the mindset of the people deep down. If someone is suffering from any sickness, the person will think for him or herself, I think I'm suffering from malaria. Is this not malaria? So
once he experiences headache.
Because people used to think like signs of malaria. So if you ask someone to tell you, I've ever tested like several times since I was born, now I know the signs and symptoms of malaria. Automatically people will go for self-medications, and these are some of the things which are not so much helpful as far as fight against malaria is concerned. Let's adopt the system of testing as being something very vital. And also, we need to start going for medical checkups before it is too late. Don't wait for the signs to appear. You may wait, but at the end it will become chronic to you. You treat it today, the next time it is coming, you treat it the next time, so it becomes so expensive for you, and it becomes sad. So let's adapt the system of testing, of knowing how our health is, the medical checkups. But if I may ask you, how many times do you check yourself in a month when you're not sick?
For malaria?
No, just checkups.
You will wonder how many times I could go to a health facility until maybe I feel like I'm not feeling well. So that's one attitude really we need to kill out. And as we go for break, we'll be actually having a lot of issues discussed in the next hour, but also really looking at what is actually happening in the country. That is it. And also really for malaria issues, please let's take the issues of testing seriously, but also look at these preventive measures. They are very important. Beyond the drugs that we may talk about, the preventive measures are actually the priority that we should be able to take and also really be able to utilize very maximally, because they are free of charge. First of all, the insecticide treated mosquito nets are free of charge, and currently they are actually distributing them. So every family should be able to really at least least get a mosquito net right away before really we go bad in terms of also increasing the cases for next couple of days to come, because it is drizzling every day, it's raining every day. So this rain accumulates a lot of water in your homesteads and so on. We should be able to splash them off from here. Let's take a break from here. We'll come back later. Thank you.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
Family the bigger feast this Christmas with Star Times upgrade to Kongere promotion. Novel customers on antenna decoder simply pay 16,000 shillings, copper bouquet monthly subscription to enjoy basic bouquet for free. Enjoy variety of entertainment including Hello Mr. Right on Makula Chika, Kazanya Kukazanyo on Makula, animations and cartoons on Boing, series on TLC and Star Life. Even better, we have added all your favorite local channels. So make this the unforgettable holiday. More content, happier family.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
Alright, welcome back from that commercial break. Earlier we're discussing the issues about the malaria burden, or the report that was actually released by World Health Organization on Friday that actually puts Uganda actually 5th on the lock across the world in terms of malaria burden, but also the death rates. These are countries that are actually worst hit by the malaria cases, and we are discussing about this because really malaria has proved to be the biggest contributor of death among the young. Okay, talk about children and also pregnant mothers, but also how about the responses by the governments? What is it that each government is actually trying to do in order to ensure that her citizens really picked or moved away from the cases of malaria, but also what is it that countries are doing locally in terms of the support to arrest the situation? We have seen that most of the aid that comes from donors is reducing each and every day, but also this has actually crippled down the activities. How is it that the countries are trying to respond? What is it that Uganda is doing? Those were things we are discussing. We have seen a lot of mosquito nets distributed to the people, but also many are not utilizing them very, very well, and that's why we are saying leaders need to take it to the mantle to really start looking or being on the watch, and also make sure that these interventions by governments are not taken like a joke, and people should not really be able to misuse these available mosquito nets, as we highlighted earlier on. But we're not going to talk much about malaria again. Let's go to security in this country. Yesterday you saw a tweet, or maybe what some people term to be now called X, the X handle of the president, where he tweeted informing the Bazukulu or the citizens of this country about the security situation in this country. Remember the twin bomb blasts that we are seeing in Greater Kampala metropolitan area, that was around Makinti, and also Nansana, that we are seeing yesterday. And these blasts were on Saturday, and yesterday there were a lot of interventions taken, or rapid responses taken towards rescuing the situation, but also the trace of the suspects is really being done. And this, according to President, was done by the M23 rebels, and who are actually known and whose allies are being traced. And this is one big issue there. But Uganda People's Defense Forces has put 2 million Ugandan shillings, actually 20 million Ugandan shillings for anyone who comes out to report some of these people who are seen to be the suspects, or the people who have caused all these havocs. But good enough, there were no lives lost, or minor injuries were actually reported, but no life was really seen lost. And this is one issue there that is happening. But also in the neighboring district, there are issues of armed trafficking, where really a lot of armed robberies taking place, and this is another issue that the UPDF is also responding to. And recently we show that Arua City is also one of the conduits identified to be facilitating human trafficking. So what about the neighborhood? The country that is neighboring us is one of the ones that is actually harboring the M23 rebels, that is at the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo, especially the Ituri province, and also those other provinces that you may talk about. So what is it that we are prepared about to respond to these kind of situations? That's why we have a guest from the security department, that is the head of the security, but also he is the resident city commissioner. I will start with his lovely name, which he prefers to call Ichogor. Ichogor. And Charles, who is the resident city commissioner, Arua City. Charles, you're most welcome to West Nile TV studios.
Thank you very much, West Nile TV team. My name is Ichogor Charles.
Yes.
And I would like to thank my moderator for pronouncing it very well. He has actually won a Nobel Prize.
Wow, this is from the president's office. Maybe I receive it. I'm pleased to have you here, but also really we'll be moving into this discussing the issues of security preparedness to respond to these cases. Remember, the commissioner police was available here trying to guide the city leadership on responding to human trafficking issues, but also the issues of gun smuggling or the issues of mob action and that are involving arms, small firearms, and also many other insecurities as we are at the border and also a transit route to many countries. What is our situation currently like? And also looking at those bomb blasts that we have seen, what is it that we are doing as security to respond to this? Yes.
Thank you very much. Once again, my name is Ichogor Charles. I'm the resident city commissioner, Arua City. On security, Arua City is generally calm, though there are some isolated incidences here and there. Last week, we had a high-level security meeting to discuss and to chart ways of putting this city in order security-wise. We shared quite a number of issues, and I'm convinced that we are going to pacify this city and put it to calm from east of the city to the west, south, north. It is true, there are some isolated incidences. About 2 weeks ago, an Asian was robbed.
Yes.
420 million shillings. And we are still pursuing the culprits. They entered Congo, but there are indicators already that we are going to get them. Then there were also some explosives. There was some explosive. It was not a bomb, but you know these days they fabricate those things. That one also investigating. Then there is snatching of phones, these small crimes. But we are on the ground. And I want to make this one categorically clear that our people are going to enjoy their Christmas. Okay. We have already put in place quite a number of interventions so that we get these culprits. One, we are going to have motorized patrols, using motorcycles, using vehicles to do surveillance in strategic areas during the day. Then at night we are going to have foot patrols, and these patrols are going to be done by the police and our sister forces, the UPDF. And it is going to be intensive. It's going to be intensive. I would like to ask the population to cooperate. You know, the first intelligence officers are the community members.
True.
They should be able to give us information because some of them live with these people, such that these patrols are alerted. My office is alerted so that we swing into action. We believe when we intensify motorized and then foot patrols, we are going to identify and arrest these culprits, which we are not going to take lightly. Two, this city is strategically located and bordering two countries. You are aware, DRC Congo, and then Southern Sudan. And these countries are not stable. Some of these people infiltrate to our city. That's why we said no, let's even have surveillance during the day and equally at night. But I would like to urge the population of Arua City to cooperate with us, to cooperate with security agencies Some of these people live with us, but we don't report them. We report them after an incident has happened. 2, the landlords or the landladies. Somebody comes, he wants to rent your room, and very quickly you offer the room. I would like to advise the landlords, the landladies, please make sure that you get the details of these persons. Get all the details, even if possible, get the national ID. And they sign tenancy agreement. Our intelligence indicates that people come and rent for 1 week, 2 days, but they pay rent for 3 months. After 1 week, they disappear. Where do they go? Those are people who are coordinating with their teams to destabilize this city. And we're not going to allow that. We're not going to allow that. So landlords, landladies, if you are listening to me, make sure that each of you has a tenancy agreement from the new persons that are entering, to avoid these people hiding. Thirdly, the hotel owners. Some of these thugs come and book accommodation as they plan. You know, before you attack, you plan. Before they attack, they come and hide in hotels. But you find that some hotels allow 3-4 people in one room. This is not acceptable. It's not acceptable in the 21st century. If there is one bed, it should be one person. Strictly one person. And before that person checks in, please check, thoroughly check the contents in his bag, the contents in his pockets, his or her pockets. Because we have also discovered through intelligence that people come and hide in hotels, plan, after creating havoc, they move away. There must be notices in front of each hotel, and this one we are going to monitor. We are going to have a checkup after meeting all the hotel owners, because we are not going to allow any stone unturned until we bring this city to order. Put notices and conditions that must be fulfilled by your clients, so that these people don't come and hide and hit us at the appropriate time. Another area is tax park, bus parks. We are going to increase our surveillance there, because that is where criminals pass and come from. There's going to be a thorough checkup before you enter the park, and even when you alight from the bus. What our intelligence has told us, these people don't board buses in taxi park or bus parks. They move along the way and board it somewhere else. So we are going also to conduct surprise checks. We are going to put surprise checks. We are going to put roadblocks where we are going to order people to come down on the way, so that we check them to help us identify the wrong elements. We are going to inconvenience the travelers. We are going to inconvenience the hotel owners, because we are going to conduct surprise checks, because we want peace and sanity in this city.
Okay, there were a lot of issues highlighted by the president about intensifying security and really vigilance. And one of these key was the issues of worship centers, markets, and also some of the areas that you have already highlighted, hotels and so on. So how will you really ensure that this is actually really coordinating, because really we show the last time checks were done at these places was during COVID lockdown. But now, since we are communicating all this, we have not seen really practically it being done, and this has continued to be one of the fertile grounds for these people who come with bad intentions to really find themselves into the community or where gathering places are and so on. They tend to achieve their missions through this kind of platforms. Maybe how would you ensure that these places really comply with the security directives? Yes, you can pick it from there.
Yeah, thank you. I was still continuing. I was coming to markets.
Yes.
Markets, also our strategic areas. Like we have one main market and other small ones, especially the main market. It is one of the strategic areas where we are going to put and intensify our surveillance. It is already ongoing. You don't see, but intelligence officers are already on the ground. The surveillance team is already on the ground to make sure that there is sanity. Likewise, churches. You know what happened in Kampala?
Yes.
Pastor Kayanja's church. We're also not going to relax there. We are going to put our eyes and ears on the ground. If it necessitates, we shall be checking Christians as they enter to the church. But what I want to urge the population is security begins from you and me. Let's try to be very conscious. Let's try to be alert. There is what we call neighborhood watch. You should be able to see what is happening at your neighborhood. You should be able to see what is done at your neighborhood. There are always suspicious elements. You can judge from the way they move. Somebody is moving up and down, is carrying a bag. You are not bothered. You are continuing to go to your house and sleep. You are not notifying the authorities. That's why I'm saying security requires collective responsibility. You don't leave it to the RDC, you don't leave it to the OC prisons, you don't leave it to the OC military or DPC. No, it is collective responsibility. And if we want to win this game, let's collaborate and let's share effective information. We are able to crush these people.
Okay, we are 8 minutes to the break time, and I want us to really discuss this before we go for break. The issues of vigilance at lower local council level, especially LECs. We have seen a lot of directives coming in terms of increasing or improving security at that foot level. Talk about the LC level. You realize that most of these LCs actually do not know the people who are living in their areas of jurisdiction. So that has been really a very great thing. What are you going to do in relation to this? Because really, if the LC one does not know about who is in his residence, that means you, from the head of security, you will not know even now the people you are leading or the people you are safeguarding. You might be safeguarding criminals, yet there's someone who has slept on job somewhere. So what are you going to do in relation to this, and also really trying to awaken the LCs from that point?
Thank you. As part of my familiarization, beginning this week, I'll be moving from ward to ward, meeting all the strategic leaders, the LOC ones of that area, the entire executive of LOC ones. I'll be meeting the community members. I'll be meeting the parish chiefs, the councillors, among others. That's the time I'm going to direct all the LOC ones to register all the people residing in his or her cell. He should actually know, because the chairperson, LOC1, is also the chairperson security.
Yes.
In that cell. So the chairperson who does not know the people living in his cell, I will conclude that maybe he's conniving with the wrong elements. And I would like to caution my LOC1s. LOC1s, you are my foot soldiers on the ground. Make sure that when you are issuing a letter to any person, you have understood him, understood the intentions, and you know him. Even if possible, if somebody, especially those coming from outside and coming to Uganda wanting clearance to go to other parts of the country, please be cautious. Don't give letters unless you are very sure. We have already discovered that some LOC1s are conniving with these criminals. But my familiarization tour is going to clear all this, because we are going to offer LOC1's strategic guidance so that we have prosperity and peace in Arua City. Those ones who break the law, of course the law is very, very clear, will get them. So LOC1s, your work is to identify suspected elements in your area, and you give us calls. My number is on. I will give you my number at the end of this session.
Okay, maybe before these LCs are engaged into maybe checking people around and so on, what is that role that the landladies or the landlords have to play in coordinating with the LC system? Because really, when I came to the city the first time, I don't know if that was the landlord who knows about the laws. He took me direct to the LC1 and said I should first bring the introduction letter before I pay him any money for rents. So what is it that you expect of all these parties, especially the house owners and also the LC system? Because we have seen many times LCs giving these acceptance letters or introduction letters because somebody has already paid some money to append the stamps and signatures. Yes. What will you expect from them?
That's actually true. What the landlords are supposed to know is what you have said. When a new net tenant comes, please let that person give you a letter from the LOC of the area where I was staying from. So that you take it to your she takes it to the nearest LOC, and the LOC1 verifies. Thereafter, they must sign a tenancy agreement so that there is flow of information. These LOCs who give letters, I've already mentioned, anyhow, I would like categorically to inform them that they must stop. They must stop. You have to consult and make sure. You can even call my office, call me, so that we are all on the know. Especially the suspicious, the suspected elements. You can judge from the behavior of a person. So that collectively, if we work collectively, we shall pacify this city to normality.
Okay, we are going to take a break from there. As we go for the break, you should be able to know that Arua City is one of the busiest in terms of transactions, and also different kind of transactions. Talk about businesses and also aiding the movement of goods from one country to the other. Talk about moving to South Sudan, you have to pass via Arua City, but also if you want to go to Central African Republic, you pass through Arua City. So there are so many things, activities that happen here, but also it is really just close to, for instance, maybe you may take 30 feet to DRC from Arua City. That's just crossing the road, and that makes it really prone to some of these kind of insecurities. But we'll be coming back to to discuss more about what should be done and really along the borderlines, and also what it should be done in between or within the country, but also how do we strengthen the close collaboration with our counterparts from DRC and South Sudan in order to really ensure that security is up to date, because we are in the same community, that is this African community, where we expect that we should be able to unite to fight our common enemies. Let's take a break from here. Thank you.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
Family the bigger feast this Christmas with StarTimes upgrade to Kongere promotion. Novel customers on antenna decoder simply pay 16,000 shillings, Copper Bouquet monthly subscription to enjoy basic bouquet for free. Enjoy variety of entertainment including Hello Mr. Right on Makula Chika, Kazanya Kukazanyo on Makula, animations and cartoons on Boeing, series on TLC and Star Life. Even better, we have added all your favorite local channels. So make this the unforgettable holiday. More content, happier family.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
Alright, welcome back from that break, and we're discussing the issues of security in Uganda, but specifically looking at the busiest towns or city that is in West Nile, that is the Rural City, and that's why we are here with the resident city commissioner, trying to understand some of the issues that have been seen as contributing to the increase in crimes that have been committed here, but also what needed to be done. We are discussing this from the point of the blasts or the bomb blasts that we show on Saturday, but also what could be done in order to really ensure that people are able to respond or report some of these kind of cases. Who are those people who are trying to come in or bring in some of these tensions in this country. Remember, a rural city is actually one of the busiest, but also in West Nile we have over 140 porous entry points, and that see the region, and that's why by default the resident city commissioner happens to be the dean of RDCs or in this region, and once he communicates on behalf of them, and that's very, very critical. That's where we should be able to really look at those kind of issues later on, and also be able to really tell people what to be done in order to really address some of those kind of issues. But let me greet my guests and also really share with him or hear from him what is actually happening and what can be done in especially along the borders. What is it that you have really set there? Ichogo.
Thank you.
Pick it from there.
Thank you very much. As I mentioned earlier, we are not going to leave any stone unturned until we pacify this city, until we pacify this sub-region. We have also intensified patrols along the border. If you go to the border line now, you will see a difference. We are going to conduct surprise checks. Surprise checks. We have already identified hotspots, and we are not going to relax. We are going to be on the spot. The border security has already been intensified, both by the police and the military, because that is a conduit where some of these criminals pass. They commit a crime here, they cross. Because of the porous borders, they commit a crime that way, they cross. But we have strategically done our mathematics, intelligence mathematics, and sooner than later, the population will hear that some people have been arrested and the law takes its course. So we are not everywhere, we are not taking security matter lightly. Two, Arua being a trade hub bordering those two countries, there is also high level of human trafficking. The children now have come back for holidays. One, I would like to urge the parents to be very responsible. Parents, be responsible for your children. Make sure that the children are at home. The children are doing work at home. Children are not loitering. If you move around the streets of Arua City, you will find clusters of young children, 12, 13 years, clustered, smoking marungi, chewing drugs. This is not acceptable because parents have relaxed. The children, when we're growing, children will belong to the community. But now, children belong to whom it may concern. That is a disaster. And I would like to advise children, especially children that have just come back from school, because of the element of trafficking, human trafficking, do not accept offers from people you do not know. Do not accept lifts, a ride from people you do not know. Because children are a target for these culprits. Likewise to the whole community, let's be responsible for our children, because our children are the future leaders, are the cream. They're actually the cream of this country. Make sure that the small children, when you get them in the street, move and talk to them. Encourage them to go back to their respective homes. And the parents down there must be vigilant to know that my child is at home at such and such a time. Give children work to do at home. Don't leave them redundant. That's why they are tempted to move out. When they move out, they are lured. They are lured and taken by these prophets of doom. So equally, that one requires collective responsibility. Collective responsibility. That's why the issue of neighborhood watch is very key. So that when you discover that somebody is bringing children to where he is staying, today he has brought one, the following day maybe he has brought two, be suspicious and call us the security agencies so that we come down, swing into action and do the investigation. Our children are being trafficked. Some of them have gone unnoticed, but some people, some parents, some people who are even parents know. We must reverse this trend. This one must stop. It shouldn't continue year in, year out, because we are losing children who would help this country, who would study and help this country in future, because we are reluctant. So it is true, trafficking is on the ground, but we have not relaxed. 2 weeks ago we had a meeting to discuss the strategies, and we have a task force to coordinate and see to it that no child is trafficked. But this one will succeed if the parents, if the committee members cooperate with us. Okay. But if they relax, then it will be very difficult. Okay.
With over 140 porous entry points to Western region, that puts us vulnerable to trafficking and also many other insecurities that we'll talk about. Maybe, RSCC, before you came to Arua, this December, the same kind of December, in 2021, we lost an ambulance. This was from the hospital, and that was because of maybe weaknesses in terms of really being vigilant, and also many vehicles have been stolen from here, and also the issues of motorcycle theft has continued to rise, especially on this kind of festive seasons. Maybe what is it that you'll be coordinating with your counterparts in Ituri province that may talk about the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo? Because most of these things that are actually stolen from this side pose a very big risk, and to security it is a big blow that actually underrates our security system, but also it is a kind of illicit financial flows where smuggling is also a part of it, theft, and also these issues of human trafficking that you talked about. What is it that you are trying to do together as leaders from both countries in order to really counter some of these kind of offenses that are actually manifesting, especially during festive seasons?
Thank you. It is true, I had the theft of the ambulance that crossed to DRC when I was still in Gulu, because I was transferred from Gulu. Yeah. I couldn't imagine that such could happen. An ambulance to cross the border, and yet we have government officials around the border. That was a disaster. We are now building relationship with our colleagues from the other side. Fortunately, DRC now is a member of the East African community. So we can use that relationship to make sure that we collaborate and we coordinate, such that when an incident happens the other side, they're able to communicate. When it happens here and they cross, they're able to assist us, such that we put this to a stop. We shouldn't continue lamenting day in, day out. We are moving towards stopping some of these issues that have been affecting Arua City. That's why our vigilance, our surveillance, we have actually tried to intensify our surveillance between here and DRC Congo, where our things are stolen and taken to DRC Congo. Once that cooperation is cemented, you will find that some of these things will stop slowly but surely, and there will be sanity. So I look forward to seeing that during my tenure as RCC Arua City. And I want to promise, I want to make this one abundantly clear. I want to promise the population of Arua City, we are here for you. We are going to do all that is possible to make sure that there is sanity in this city.
Okay, we're left with 4 minutes to close the discussions. If you've been watching or following us from the start, we're discussing about the security situation in Arua City, but also the festive season is coming with a lot of tension of people wanting to steal other people's things to get rich. And also you have seen the issues of blasts from the other parts of this country. So how can we be ready to ensure that we don't actually experience those kind of things and we enjoy the festive season successfully without any harm or injury or somebody being left dead from this kind of incidences that will happen? And that's why we're here with the RCC discussing or creating awareness about what the communities should be able to do, but also many other stakeholders who are there to help the security in addressing some of these issues. And that's why we're here. And if you have anything that you have also there, you should be able to really comment or send us those comments. We will be able to really get you answered. But also, if you have missed the show, you can still also get it on the YouTube channels. We are live on Zuku, but also those who want to really see a repeat, you can go to the YouTube channels. That is the Kokoliriko Live. You'll be able to see what we have been able to discuss here. Maybe RCC, let me have your last words on the security situations and also what you people have been able to put on ground, and also maybe any other business you want to share, you can say it here, and then we'll be leaving the room for the news in Lubarati shortly.
Thank you. I would like to assure the population of Arua City to be calm. The situation in Arua City is not out of hand. We are managing, and I would like to assure you that you are going to have a peaceful festive season. Continue doing the businessmen, continue doing your business. Your customers should continue coming and buying goods in preparation for the festive season. On security, we are very alert. We are on the ground 24/7 to make sure that there is peace across all divisions in Arua City. And I would want to wish you a prosperous and Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year. And lastly, I would like to inform the public that registration for the distribution of nets is going to start today, and it is going to end tomorrow. Thereafter, the distribution will commence, and every citizen above 18 years will get a net. The nets are not given to individuals, they are given to pairs. If you have 4 in the family, you will get 2 nets. But if you are 3 in a family, you equally get 2 nets. So prepare and be registered today and tomorrow, so that the following day we distribute all the nets. Malaria is a #1 killer now, and they are quite the prevalence in Arua City is at 52%. It is extremely high. It's extremely high, and that is a disaster. I would like to thank government. I would like to thank the NRM government under the visionary leadership of General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni for these interventions. Moderator, you realize that His Excellency President Museveni has championed the health in this country. What he did together with the scientists during COVID-19, during Ebola is commendable, and it has gone into the archives of this country. So likewise in malaria, we are going to get mosquito treated nets, such that we say bye-bye to malaria. That is at 52%. I thank all of you for listening to us. I thank all the viewers. Please keep on inviting me here so that I disseminate government programs to the population of Arua City, so that collectively we move together to build Arua City as a model city in this country.
All right, we appreciate you also, RCC. We appreciate your time, and also you being able to come vividly, because I just gave you a call this morning. I appreciate that you're able to make it, and there are many people who have actually not been able to make it, but we appreciate that once we give you a call, you should be able to respond. That's very, very important. That's why West Nile TV is established for people to get information about these government projects or programs, and also what people need to know elsewhere. That's very, very important. That's why this platform is there for people to actually get those information. So once you are here, you come as a technical person to actually share with the people. They will have to believe in you than what we will say as journalists, because we don't have enough information that will be able to talk richer than what you have said. So we appreciate your coming, and also the management, we appreciate you for creating this platform for people to actually share ideas and also learn about some of these programs. And behind the camera, I had Dizon Pro, who is there really working on the camera and also showing you all that we are sharing here. But also behind the production is Aldo, who is there, and also many others that we are here. We appreciate you, the staff who are working together to make sure that this show really runs. My name is Federick Dramadri. Up next, we'll be having the news in Lubarati, brought to you by Muklia Lawrence and his team that is led by Farish Majid. I will appreciate you so much. We're out of the studios. We'll make you again tomorrow. The same time, the same hour, the same station. Thank you.